This is the first defendant, Louis J. Gomez. He claims he was actually trying to give the LSD to fellow comedian Ari Shaffir, in an act of revenge for Ari committing the same crime to a much more successful comedian with mainstream appeal, Bert Kreischer. However, Louis, being a dumb Puerto Rican, revealed his plan to fellow comedian and almost SNL alum Shane Gillis. The drink in question was then repositioned to be in front of Okerson. If Louis didn't dose his co-host, who is at fault the most? This is the second defendant, noted Jew Ari Shaffir. Upon being informed of Gomez's plan to dose him, he decided to pass the punishment on to an innocent party. Through co-conspirator Shane Gillis, who passed Okerson the drink and very subtly asked, "Are you drinking tonight?" Shaffir orchestrated yet another act of mayhem upon the podcast. Ari claims that since he wasn't the one who introduced the LSD, Gomez is ultimately responsible for whoever consumed it and whatever occurred afterwards. So who's really at fault? The one who supplied it or the one who denied it? Find out here today on the Skanks Court.
We have an amazing all-star lineup of people here tonight.
We've got quite the trial of the podcast century.
We have the trial of the podcast century. We have a jury here, Ari, of
Jury?
a jury of some of your comedy peers here for you and Louis to judge this thing fair and down the middle, and our esteemed judge, His Holiness, His Highness, His Honor. It is the great Sal Vulcano judging this whole shindig.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I have a question.
Tonight, I'd prefer to go by Judge Gavel DeGraw, please.
Oh, Gavel DeGraw. That's right. I forgot about that. Why did you guys spend so much time making People's Court doors to open, but then you just threw a Halloween tablecloth behind Sal? I mean, it looks awful. And those doors, great job. Doors are great. Doors are incredible.
Probably going to repurpose the doors as a backdrop for Sal.
Can you tape the doors behind Sal? It would actually look pretty good.
Yeah.
Good idea, Jay. Jay, you say you don't have a producer in mind, but every once in a while, you really surprise me.
Yeah, I nailed it.
And today we will be determining who is most responsible for the dosing of Big J. Okerson.
So, Mr. Shaffir, are you representing yourself?
I guess I am. I'm just going to wing it.
Okay.
He's going to wing it. He's got a stack of papers.
Doesn't feel like a good idea, but...
Well, I can always claim insanity later.
They always say, he who defends himself has a Jew for a lawyer. I think I have that right.
I should start saying that.
Mr. Shaffir, would you like to make your opening
Chinese
statement?
proverb.
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, the question today is not who amongst us is innocent, but rather who bears the greatest guilt for the poisoning of Big J. Okerson. In last week's episode alone, Louis Gomez refused to take any responsibility and fled to Miami, the worst city in America. Now, you may hear a lot of talk about the New York City criminal status or in buzzwords opposing counsel has heard on Law and Order, but that's irrelevant. All that matters today is who is most responsible. Big J was damaged and is owed just compensation. Common law provides a clear and thorough means of ascertaining the responsible party. Now, skipping ahead.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. It's just fucking shit that I realize is way too long to actually read. Anything you want to jump in on, go for it. Guys, here's a criminal term that Jews learn.
You tried to throw me under the bus, dude.
No, it's coming later.
I thought I saw my name, dude. You trying to throw me under the bus.
Opposing counsel has nothing to offer you in a way of fairly adjudicating liability beyond refusals to bear any responsibility, and the theory of the case is so baseless, it is an insult to the court. Already passed him the drink. It is inaccurate. It was actually Shane Gillis who passed him the drink.
What?
But I'm not here to bury Shane Gillis like the industry did. And like Louis Gomez is trying to do. I am here to tell the truth and see that justice is served for Big J. Okerson, one of comedy's legends. Justice for Jay.
Say his name.
That's DeGraw, capital D, capital G.
Gavel DeGraw.
I got to tell you a quick thing about the law. A tort. It's an interesting word. A tort is a wrongful act establishing fault. In torts requires 4 elements: duty, breach, causation, and damage. Now, duty, number 1. Luis Gomez is the host and organizer of Legion of Skanks and presidential hopeful, although he lost. As well as a self-proclaimed co-owner of Gas Digital. Ari Shaffir, myself, was a guest, what is better known as an invitee in the eyes of the law. An invitee, Luis owed Ari and other guests and co-hosts a duty to keep the whole premises safe from reasonably foreseeable damages and injuries.
This is pretty good.
This duty is
This is a lot better than you thought it'd be, didn't it?
This duty is Luis Gomez's standard of care under premise liability. Breach, number 2. Luis Gomez breached his duty to provide the required standard by care by having and or arranging for poisoned drinks to be passed around to unsuspecting guests.
That's a breach.
These guests have not been given notice, nor had the opportunity to consent or object. Causation. Did the breach duty cause damages? Your Honor, all I have to say is, quite simply, res ipsa liquidator. It's clear on its face. There's 2 types of causations, but for and substantial factor. Guys, here's the point. There's a lot of legal talk. I actually got a real lawyer to help me out with this, so just assume I know what I'm talking about. But for the planning, scheming, and direction of Luis Gomez, there's no way Big J would have been poisoned that fateful night. Remove Luis from the equation, and none of us are here tonight.
Can't believe you're hitting these fucking idiots with all these Jew words. Mm-hmm. No one's going to know what's going on.
And finally, damages or injury. Big J was poisoned without his consent, incurred physical and emotional damage as a result. I heard he cried. Christine told me he cried. Big J and myself did not assume the risk of being poisoned merely because we accepted an invitation from Luis Gomez.
Your Honor,
This test was codified in Palsgraf v. Long Island Railroad Company by the most learned future Supreme Court Justice Benjamin Cardozo in determining the proximate cause of a tort. Was the damage reasonably foreseeable by Luis Gomez? Absolutely.
Man, Benjamin Cardozo, that's the name of the school my ex-wife went to.
Your Honor, we
shut
could
up,
rest our
crybaby.
case right here, but Big J deserves a chance to be heard, and Luis Gomez deserves punishment and should listen to the testimony of those he harmed. You have the floor.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Going forward, I'll say when people have the floor.
Fair enough, Gavel.
Okay, you got it. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you to all of the jurors for coming out tonight. Thank you to everybody in the audience. And, of course, thank you to the victim, Jason Ogerson, who's here today. I know this can't be easy for you.
He cried.
Let the record show that Jason did cry.
I didn't cry. I was sad. I was sad. I didn't cry.
I'd also allow shed tears to be on the record.
I thought he was kidding about Jay crying until Jay said he didn't cry. Now I really believe it.
No, maybe some angry ones, but not the kind where I took swings at fake U's in my...
Your Honor, I'd like Jay's denial of crying to be stricken from the record. What is a trial other than a riddle? And riddle me this. Riddle me this. What is greater than God and worse than a Jew? Nothing. All right. This is really itchy. Okay, Ari, I expected a big show out of his performance tonight. I can't believe how pathetic that was. He evidently got some Jew freshman law school person to write that for him, and he went on with all these complicated words that most of these retards behind us don't know.
Let the record show I made that joke already.
It was all revolved around the idea of a tort claim. A tort claim is a civil suit. I don't know if you've noticed the wheel of punishments here. Men's assholes are on the line. This is clearly a criminal case.
Dave speaks Jew.
Damn, dude. He is killing it. I think it's off the cuff, and he's murdering it.
Listen, every single defense that Ari just used is completely irrelevant because it only applies to civil law. It has nothing to do with criminal cases. So all of that shit is nonsense. This is a criminal case in the court of Legion of Skanks, which means we have to determine what is a crime by Skanks law. Now I know, listen, I'm sure a lot of you are going to look at Lewis. Okay, you see a Puerto Rican psychopath, and you think, obviously, this guy has to be guilty, right? Open and shut case. No, not so quickly. My client, Louis J. Gomez, while I will be the first to admit, is garbage, did nothing wrong by skank law in this incident. Louis is responsible for attempting to dose Ari, a man guilty of dosing other comedians. By Skanks law, that is hilarious. Ari is guilty of dosing Jay, with a little bit of help from Shane, who I actually believe was coerced into the whole situation, to be honest. And I think it was disgusting the way Ari threw Shane under the bus. I will ask the jury
Thank you, David.
to look at the facts
Thank you,
of the
David.
case. That's what this is going to be decided on.
Chance, dude.
The facts.
He's lining him up like a retired cop.
Give me a shot.
He just brought me 2 men.
All right, give me one of those. I'll take the other one.
Yeah, you don't just get the first one.
Pick
In a
which
case
one?
of
You
dosing.
give me that one.
I'm not an animal piece of shit like all of you.
He just handed me a drink while we're on this trial.
Order! Order in the court!
Sal, where are you when we need you, man? All right. I would.
Gavel.
Sal, who's on those headphones? Murph?
Your Honor, Judge. No,
Who are you talking to over there?